The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. Libya after our prophet, Muammar Gaddafi. Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton that they wanted to save the Libyans from a long-time dictator. According to them, Muammar Gaddafi was a dictator and used the resources to benefit himself. The Libyan money was kept to himself instead of giving it to the people in Libya, and the people in Libya were suffering. So for that reason, they are the angels, they are the saviors of the world. They left the problems of the United States of America, the homeless people in the United States of America, and came to Libya to set the Libyans free. And we saw how they treated Muammar Gaddafi, a leader who gave everything to his people. And his only crime he committed against these people was to unify the African continent. Barack Obama saw it to be a crime against the United States of America. So they came in the guise of helping the Libyans, and today we've seen the Libya they promised the Libyans.
The Tripoli streets after clashes erupted between the two rival militias in an escalating power struggle. The public anger is mounting against Prime Minister Abdul Hamid Dbeibah and the 444th Brigade Commander Mahmoud Hamza. The protesters in fact raised slogans and held posters with faces of both Abdul Hamid Dbeibah and Mahmoud Hamza crossed out in the red. The fresh gunfire in fact ripped through Libya's capital just hours after authorities declared an end to the violence. Two rival factions are the Radar Force and the 444th Brigade, and they're fighting in certain key parts of the city, including around the port. The fighting has left several people dead, with at least about one body recovered from a major street by the Libyan Red Crescent. The Dbeibah-led government in Tripoli has blamed the escalation on infighting between the militias. The thousands have rallied at the Martyrs Square demanding for an end to militia rule and condemning the proposed dissolution of the 444th Brigade.
The balance of power has shifted in Tripoli, one of the largest and most powerful armed groups in western Libya. The Stability Support Authority, or the SSA, has completely collapsed. That's after its head, Abdel Ghani el-Kikli, notoriously known as Gnewa, was shot and killed in a military base in southern Tripoli on Monday night. Fighting broke out across Tripoli for hours between forces loyal to the government and the SSA, leaving people here scared and terrified. Flights were diverted and schools suspended, but the guns fell silent by the morning. Calm is slowly returning to Tripoli.
Any fighting or violence affects people. Civilians will die. The elderly and people who are sick will be impacted. Families are scared and will need to be evacuated. Until 3 or 4 in the morning, we were all living in fear, especially the children.
Some people say the security operation carried out by the government needed to be done.
It was a very fast operation. Clashes in the past between armed groups and the government were very chaotic, and people were filled with panic. We didn't feel that this time. It was a very professional operation. The areas of the clashes were limited.
The Ministry of Defense and Interior said it took over all SSA bases in and around Tripoli in a security operation on Monday. Warehouses full of weapons and ammunition will now be transferred to government control. Human rights groups have for years accused Gnewa and the SSA of committing human rights violations and crimes under international law, including unlawful killings and the arbitrary detention of migrants and refugees, as well as torture and forced labor. Prison cells in an SSA base show the horrific conditions people were kept in. These migrants were freed from one base in Abu Salim. While it isn't business,
the State Council has called on Libya's parliament to jointly select a new prime minister to replace the current chief, Abdel Hamid Dbeibah.
The High State Council, the highest political entity, has also annulled all security measures adopted by Dbeibah, claimed to be the cause of the latest upheaval. 6 government ministers have reportedly resigned in protest of Dbeiba's handling of the crisis. On Friday, mass protests engulfed the capital Tripoli, calling to sack Dbeiba's internationally recognized presidential council. One security officer was killed as protesters tried to storm into the government headquarters. These developments have followed clashes that erupted in the densely populated areas in the capital Tripoli and other cities across the country. Since the assassination of State Support Apparatus SSA Chief Abdel Ghani al-Kikli last week, a security authority established by Dbeiba's government. According to independent watchdog National Institution for Human Rights, 53 civilians were killed, including 4 females and 2 Egyptian and Nigerian residents, while 10 unidentified bodies were found. The UN has called for calm. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Abdelhamid Dbeiba is fighting back, accusing rivals of destabilizing the country. He defended the SSA, claiming it has created enemies while successfully retaining security.
To be fair, we had helped to create the problem we're now fighting. How? Because when the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan, we had this brilliant idea that we were going to come to Pakistan and create a force of mujahideen, equip them with Stinger missiles and everything else to go after the Soviets inside Afghanistan. And we were successful. The Soviets left Afghanistan, and then we said, great, goodbye, leaving these trained people who were fanatical in Afghanistan and Pakistan, leaving them well armed, creating a mess, frankly, that at the time we didn't really recognize. We were just so happy to see the Soviet Union fall, and we thought, okay, fine, we're okay now. Everything's going to be so much better. Now you look back, the people we're fighting today, we were supporting in the fight against the Soviets.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today, the government of Libya announced the death of Muammar Gaddafi. This marks the end of a long and painful chapter for the people of Libya, who now have the opportunity to determine their own destiny in a new and democratic Libya. For 4 decades, the Gaddafi regime ruled the Libyan people with an iron fist. Basic human rights were denied, innocent civilians were detained, beaten, and killed, and Libya's wealth was squandered. The enormous potential of the Libyan people was held back, and terror was used as a political weapon. Today, we can definitively say that the Gaddafi regime has come to an end. The last major regime strongholds have fallen. The new government is consolidating the control over the country, and one of the world's longest-serving dictators is no more. 1 year ago, the notion of a free Libya seemed impossible. But then the Libyan people rose up and demanded their rights. And when Gaddafi and his forces started going city to city, town by town, to brutalize men, women, and children, the world refused to stand idly by. Faced with the potential of mass atrocities and a call for help from the Libyan people, the United States and our friends and allies stopped Gaddafi's forces in their tracks. A coalition that included the United States, NATO, and Arab nations persevered through the summer to protect Libyan civilians. And meanwhile, the courageous Libyan people fought for their own future and broke the back of the regime. So this is a momentous day in the history of Libya. The dark shadow of tyranny has been lifted, and with this enormous promise, the Libyan people now have a great responsibility to build an inclusive and tolerant and democratic Libya that stands as the ultimate rebuke to Gaddafi's dictatorship. We look forward to the announcement of the country's liberation, the quick formation of an interim government, and a stable transition to Libya's first free and fair elections. And we call on our Libyan friends to continue to work with the international community to secure dangerous materials and to respect the human rights of all Libyans, including those who've been detained. We're under no illusions. Libya will travel a long and winding road to full democracy. There will be difficult days ahead. But the United States, together with the international community, is committed to the Libyan people. You have won your revolution. And now we will be a partner as you forge a future that provides dignity, freedom, and opportunity. For the region, today's events prove once more that the rule of an iron fist inevitably comes to an end. Across the Arab world, citizens have stood up to claim their rights. Youth are delivering a powerful rebuke to dictatorship.
The Libya that they claim will be free. The Libyans will have joy, they will have job, they will have everything, the resources that belong to them, they will have access to it, are on the streets. Libyans have never known peace ever since Muammar Gaddafi passed on. They wish today this man is brought back to life. We have now seen the lies that the United States of America told to us. We cannot read through the lines. That anytime these people claim to help us or save us from a long-term dictator, or whenever they tag a leader in Africa as a dictator, it means that leader is rather doing everything good to save us. IMF is owing Libya ever since Muammar Gaddafi died. These people who claim they are righteous people that love the Libyans, and they made sure they took away Muammar Gaddafi, who was a dictator to them, and to give the Libyans a better life, refused to pay this money to the Libyans. All those who sang the songs of Muammar Gaddafi being a dictator and was maltreating the people in Libya, where are you? Especially the African leaders who contributed to this. Look at how the Libyans are suffering. How many of you went back to Libya to say sorry, to even help the Libyans? But you were the same people who helped these people to sing the songs into our ears, and we all bought the story of Muammar Gaddafi being a dictator and being a bad leader. The Libyans who had everything, free healthcare, free education, free homes, free electricity, free everything, look at them on the street. Now even who to be a governor, who to lead these people becomes a problem. Who to unify the Libyans has become a problem ever since Muammar Gaddafi died. This is the Libya the United States of America under Barack Obama promised the Libyans. The free Libya, the blessed Libya that they promised, we have finally seen it. These people will never have our interests at heart. They are always having their interests, and any leader that will stand on the way of their interests, they make sure they do away with that leader with the help of we the youth. Muammar Gaddafi made it clear that it was an Al-Qaeda that they used, and Hillary Clinton claimed they created these groups. We have to rise up. Libyans, today you wish we never sang the songs of Muammar Gaddafi being a dictator. What he has been able to give to the Libyans, there is no leader on this earth who has ever been able, including the United States of America that was singing the songs of him being a dictator, has ever been able to give its citizens what Muammar Gaddafi gave to his citizens. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. It's very hurtful though that we are seeing Libya, Muammar Gaddafi's Libya, in this manner. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, in Africa and in Libya.